Hi, GenderqueerChat. So I just recorded this whole video, and then it turned out to be the sound was super laggy, and now I have to record it all again. So that's great, and it's frustrating because I was a bit iffy on what I wanted to say on this topic. And then I managed to actually make a video that I was quite happy with, and wasn't gonna have to edit a bunch. And now I have to say it all again, and I don't know if it's going to be as good, but what can you do? I want to make you something that's watchable, so I'm going to start this topic again. First off, just remember Eeyore in the video, because Mark really likes Eeyore and has an Eeyore collection, and he wanted an Eeyore to be in the video because he's not here. And he's in the bathroom, dying Devin, roommate Sarah. But he's not in the video. I figured you guys might see him again on another topic that's not quite as personal and what I think is a little bit intense for me personally. So yeah, with that out of the way, I guess I will start off by saying that our topic this week is, what is your gender identity? Has your gender or understanding of your gender ever changed? Do you feel that you have a full grasp on understanding your gender yet? So I guess it's pretty obvious that being here on GenderqueerChat that I identify as genderqueer, and that's a term that I've really latched onto because I think it is the best that I've found that is able to fully encompass my identity. Other gender-related terms that I identify with, identify as trans and transgender, and I identify as FTM, even though it's a little bit complicated, but it is a word that I identify with. I don't identify as a trans man, but I identify as a boy, a trans boy. Basically, I just want to be a pretty boy, which I'm cool with. So, I mean, my understanding and my identity of what my gender is has definitely changed over time. I came out to my parents and friends, I guess, at the time, when I was 11 years old. And so I've had nearly a decade of time to explore and modify my identity. So when I came out as transgender because that was the word that I'd heard on Oprah that I felt I could use to explain my gender variance. And that's just the term that I had at my disposal at the time. And so I used that word for many years and researched a lot about that. At that time, I felt that I wanted to transition fully to living my life as male, and fully medically transition as well. And I think part of what that was at the time was my understanding of gender was more limited because I was younger, and so what I knew was that I wasn't a girl, and therefore I had to be a boy, and I didn't want to grow up to be a woman, and therefore I had to grow up to be a man. And obviously that's not true, and that's not what I'm currently doing. And do I think that I have a full grasp of my gender identity right now? No. I think that I'm comfortable with where I am right now, but I think that it will constantly be changing and evolving as I learn more vocabulary and explore myself further and be put in new situations and meet new people. It's funny because I think in comparison to Ricky, who earlier in the week was talking about not having a gender and being comfortable with not having a gender and what I would label as being a gender. I don't feel like that at all. I feel gender full, so full of gender that it's spilling over into these different boxes and bursting out of them, and just it's messy, and the lines are so not clear cut. And there's nothing wrong with what Ricky's experience is. Actually, I think it's kind of awesome that we can have such a diverse amount of experiences and identities on the channel to represent this huge community, because even though we're a minority within a minority within a minority, we're still such a varied group of people. But I don't know, lately I've been definitely having a more reflective period, a evolving period with my identity and my gender. A lot of that has to do with being in this new relationship and getting to know Mark and his identity, because Mark identifies as a trans man who is genderqueer, while as I primarily, at least, identify as a person who is genderqueer and also trans, masculine. So it's we have the same and yet opposite identity, and it's making me question, why is it that I choose to identify the way I do? Why am I comfortable with the way that I identify? And lately I've been having this battle internally about whether or not I identify as genderqueer because it's easier, because it's more comfortable, and not comfortable in the sense of comfortable for me, but more comfortable in the sense of not wanting struggle in my life. Because it's funny, because a lot of people say, trans people, cis people, whatever, they say they really admire genderqueer people because it's so much harder, in their words, that it's a struggle, that it's often uncomfortable, because there's so few people that identify outside of the binary, and it's this gray wasteland of the unknown. Whereas, I don't know, for me, I feel like sometimes I'm choosing genderqueer over transition, or fully identifying as trans, because I don't want to have to explain myself and come out and have people watch or scrutinize my journey. While as if I am genderqueer, I can kind of live the life I want, do things I want, and if I explain it, I explain it, but they're not watching and questioning in the same way that they necessarily would. Even though I do get questioned, I do get stared at, whatever, it's a different sort of experience. I feel people are less intrusive about my identity, because if they want, they can still place me into the other side of the binary and feel that I fit there. While as if I were to try to fully transition, hormones and whatever, people don't have the option of easily fitting me into either side of the binary. They just have that one, and there's more of a struggle there. I don't know. I hope that what I said makes sense and doesn't upset anyone. I don't know. It's not my intention. and it's still something that I'm working out in my head, and it's not really something that I've talked to anyone about, so, yeah, I think it's difficult, and I'm happy that I'm genderqueer, and I know that I will always identify as genderqueer, because I am, like I said, full of gender, and I will never fit the binary, but it's whether or not I make that choice to actively do something to a higher extent. Okay, I think that's enough. This video is longer than the first time I made it by quite a bit, and hopefully people are still watching. Cheers to you if you made it all the way to the end. So anyways, I hope everyone has a great week, and thank you for listening, and yeah, feel free to contact me or any of us on the channel. I'm sure we'd love to hear from you all. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.